So you're thinking about a PhD, or maybe you're already right in the thick of it. And if you are, you know it takes a lot more than just being smart. There's this kind of hidden curriculum, a whole set of unwritten rules that nobody ever tells you about. Well, today we're going to decode that script. Right, let's get the biggest one out of the way first, the question that probably keeps a lot of people up at night. Are PhDs only for geniuses? It's a huge source of self-doubt for so many, but the answer? Well, it's probably not what you think. Before we completely bust that myth, let's make sure we're all on the same page. PhD stands for Doctor of Philosophy. Now, that doesn't mean you have to study philosophy, not at all. It actually goes way back to the original Greek, meaning lover of wisdom. At its heart, getting a PhD is about proving you can make a truly new and significant contribution to what we know as a species. Yeah, and this quote from James Tibbet really gets to the heart of it. He points out two words that are absolutely crucial here: independent and significant. This isn't like school anymore. You're the one in the driver's seat, and your job is to create something that's genuinely new and good enough to be published. No small task, right? So, let's circle back to that genius question. If it's not just about raw intelligence, then what is the secret sauce? Well, it's mastering what's called the hidden transcript. All those unwritten rules of the game that you're just expected to figure out on your own. And that is exactly what we're going to get into today. So here's the deal. Success pretty much comes down to three core pillars. First, your mindset, how you actually think about yourself and your work. Second, your supervisor, and how you manage that incredibly important relationship. And third, your time, how on earth you tame this absolute marathon of a project. We're going to break down each one. Okay, first up, mindset. And honestly, this one is a biggie. It's this massive, fundamental shift you have to make. You've got to change your entire identity from someone who just consumes knowledge to someone who actually produces it. Think about it like this. All through undergrad, your whole job was to find answers that already existed in a textbook somewhere. Success was getting an A. But in a PhD, the problems don't have answers yet. You're supposed to create them. The feedback loop goes from a few weeks for a paper to years. It's a whole different ballgame. Getting this mindset right is how you survive what's often called the messy middle. You know that feeling of being completely and utterly lost? That's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're at the frontier of human knowledge. It's about having a growth mindset. It's not, I can't do this. It's, I haven't figured this out yet. And remember, a so-called failed experiment, that's not a failure. It's a finding. It tells you one more place the answer isn't, and that, my friends, is progress.
So that brings us to pillar number 2. Your supervisor. So many students fall into the trap of treating this like just another teacher-student relationship. And that's a huge mistake. You've got to reframe it. This is a strategic, professional partnership.
The key here is what they call active management. You've got to learn to manage up. Don't just show up and wait for them to tell you what to do. You have to drive the relationship. Come to every meeting with an agenda and a really specific ask. Figure out how they like to communicate. Email, a quick chat, and adapt to it. And maybe most important of all, you have to be the one to proactively manage expectations about timelines. It builds trust and saves you so much grief later. And hey, it's not just about that one person. Think about your whole dissertation committee like an investment portfolio. You wouldn't put all your money in one stock, right? It's too risky. Same idea here. You need different people for different things. Your methods guru, your big picture thinker, your subject matter expert. Diversifying your feedback makes your work so much stronger, and it makes the whole journey a lot safer.
Which leads us right to our final pillar, time. A PhD has been called a marathon with no mile markers, and that's exactly what it feels like. It's so easy to just drift for years with no end in sight. To get through this, you have to become your own project manager.
Now, this little framework is an absolute game changer for structuring your time. Most of us get stuck in one of two places, either Horizon 1, the tiny daily tasks, or we just dream about Horizon 3, graduation day. But the real secret, the place where progress actually happens, is Horizon 2. These are your strategic quarterly goals, things like draft the methods section this quarter. Hitting these goals is what actually moves the needle and connects your daily grind to the big picture. So how do you even set those big Horizon 2 milestones? You use a brilliant technique called backward mapping. You literally start at the finish line, say your final polished dissertation. Then you ask, okay, what had to happen right before that was done? And before that? And before that? You keep working backward, and this process magically reveals the critical path, the essential steps you have to take to get there. It turns this terrifying mountain into a clear set of stairs.
And while you're climbing those stairs, please, please remember this. Perfectionism is the enemy. It will kill your progress. A good enough draft that you can send out to get feedback on is infinitely more valuable than some mythical perfect draft that sits on your computer forever, unseen by anyone. Done is better than perfect.
Okay, so we've got mindset, supervision, and time. But how do they all fit together? Here's the most important part. These three pillars aren't separate. They're a system. They all feed into each other, and they can create either a terrible downward spiral or an amazing upward virtuous cycle.
And here's what that downward spiral, the vicious cycle, looks like. It starts with a poor mindset, right? Imposter syndrome kicks in. That makes you afraid to talk to your supervisor, so you avoid them. Avoiding them means you start missing deadlines. Missing deadlines crushes your confidence even more, and before you know it, you're totally burned out. You can see how fast this can get out of control.
But when you master that hidden transcript, you flip the whole thing around. You start with that strong producer mindset. That gives you the confidence to actively manage your supervisor. Working well with them helps you create a clear, actionable plan. And executing that plan leads to real, tangible progress, which, guess what? It boosts your confidence and reinforces that powerful mindset. This is the engine of success.
So really, the big takeaway here isn't just about how to get a PhD. It's a blueprint for tackling any huge, confusing, long-term project in your life. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What are the unwritten rules, the hidden transcript that are governing your biggest goals right now? And how can you start to master them today?